Where the fuck is Mcclay?
What you guys doing? Wanna go see Uncle McClay? You guys wanna see Uncle McClay, sir?
Will you be my new co-host?
Check.
All right. Fabius, do you want to be my co-host today, actually? Come here, buddy. Come here. Come up here. Can you sit up here? Come on. Sit up here. Sweet. Hell yeah. Actually, I have Fabius as a co-host today. But anyway, as for today, we have some interesting topics to talk about once McClay gets here. He's not as late as he was last week, but this is his second strike. So honestly, one more strike, I'm gonna have to fucking fire his ass. And I am definitely taking applications now for long-haired, bearded, tall, preferably obese males, white dudes that can be my new best friend, because he's gonna have to be replaced, and he has certain traits and qualities that the new co-host best friend's gonna have to abide to. Maybe we can maybe the audition could be like we go and do the same things that me and McClay do and see how it is. You know, he doesn't have to be exactly like McClay, but McClay is actually irreplaceable, so he's got to be extremely nice. He's got to definitely be able to put up with my constant bullshit. I'd prefer if he didn't smell. I know you guys can't smell McClay as you're watching this, but I'm right next to him. He fucking constantly stinks. I don't think his mom or dad properly showed him how to wipe his ass. So I think maybe we should talk about that today. Because the chair just constantly smells like fucking someone sharted. I need to replace that chair now. It smells like sweet egg salad, because this motherfucker put sugar in his egg salad, so it's just Shart City. Anyway, yeah, if you guys know anybody, please email me at the Bogcast with Keith and Brian at gmail.com. I take that back. I have to change the email address now because his name's in it. Just message me on Facebook Messenger. Actually, I never fucking check that anymore. Message me on Instagram, or I don't want to give my private email out. I'll make a new email. Also, it'd be cool if the new best friend's name was Brian with a Y, because most Brians are spelled Brian. So if you could find a Brian with a Y, fuck yeah. So, and if you also could have just way more interesting topics to talk about, fucking, I'm sitting over here dying listening to McClay's stories. I'm just like, fucking, shoot me fucking now. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm in a fucking dark place right now, guys. My fucking dad passed away. Fucking my back's on fucking fire constantly. I'm constantly in pain. Fucking, and now I gotta fire my best friend. Like, fuck, McClay. It's 1:06. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull this shit up here. I asked him what time he wanted to shoot. So let's see what I said. And we didn't have a guest today, so, you know, it could be pretty lenient. I didn't really care. So I messaged him, what time do you want to shoot tomorrow? This was yesterday. And I knew he was going to respond with this. I'm down for whenever. So I put, do you want to shoot at 1 p.m.? Sure. Word. See you at 1, dog. I shouldn't have said see you at 1, dog. That's actually my bad, because he actually knows shooting at 1 means be here at noon, because like I said, usually I like to talk about the episode. Normally if we have a guest, usually if it's just me and him, I don't want to talk to him before, so the conversations are more fresh. But at least 12:30 to help me set up all this fucking bullshit, because most of this stuff is ready to go, but you know, there's a lot of little bullshit that you have to plug in, and fucking if we run the GoPro, that's a pain in the ass. A lot of little factors to pay attention to, so I try to give Mcclay at least the audio duty. That way if the audio ever fucks up, I could just blame him. Like, what the fuck, Mcclay? You fucked it up. You know, and eventually we'll get a new, like a Jamie that could, you know, switch cameras, check our facts, you know, because we're constantly talking out of our ass. Half the shit we say probably isn't even true if you Googled it. So we need someone to kind of like, oh, you're actually wrong about that, so we're not, you know, putting out all this misinformation constantly. But I'd like to be able to compensate that person. We never set out to make money on this podcast. Honestly, it's just a way for me and Brian to hang out. But like I said, I need a new best friend now. And, fuck, I forgot what the fuck I was saying.
You doing, Mimi? You being a good girl?
When she sleeps like this, she's like she looks like the Firefox logo. These guys are passed out right now because they had a play date with another husky this morning. But as soon as Brian gets here, which by the way, he's 9 minutes late, they are going to lose their shit and be extremely pumped. They're kind of like my doorbell, so we'll know where exactly when he gets here. Anyway, yeah, like I said, this shit's super cheesy. Doing it by myself like this, I don't like it. Like I said last week, some of my favorite podcasts do it like this. Theo Vaughn, Joey Diaz, Bill Burr, Ari Shaffir talks to the camera 20 minutes before he does his podcast. And I'll be completely honest with you, my heart's fucking pounding. I don't know if it's this fucking coffee or my fucking a pussy because I'm smoking sativa. But actually, I think I'm nervous. I don't know how to. I think that's honestly one of the reasons why I wanted to start the podcast with Mcclay, is so if I didn't have something to say, or, you know, it was just to have someone there to, you know, fill in the gaps. But also, I do enjoy Mcclay's thoughts and opinions on different things. And, you know, he has an interesting take on a lot of stuff in the world itself. And he's extremely smart. He's one of the smartest motherfuckers I know. I don't know why I'm hyping this motherfucker up. He's almost about to be fired. Fuck. We'll just start a hashtag Fire Mcclay. He'll probably get his third strike next week. Guaranteed. So let's just assume that he's going to be fired next week. So like I said, I'll just start doing auditions for his replacement this week, and then maybe on episode 130, because this is 134, on episode 135 I'll be with my new best friend, and maybe we'll have like a bunch of shit to talk about from a week of hanging out together, you know. Fabius, where'd you go, dude? Come here. See, even Fabius thinks this show fucking sucks just with me by myself. He's like, fuck this shit. So, Oddball, oh no, Mimi's leaving too. This show sucks. I don't blame you guys. I don't blame the dogs. This podcast sucks. It's going to shit. Fucking the world's going to hell. Everyone's in a dark place. Everyone's at odds. There's literally just, I don't know. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about right now. I need to bring positivity, right? Yeah, let's talk positive. I'm just watching Gertie lick her fucking butt. I think about 15 minutes late, it's when you send the, hey, where you at, bro? It's one of those things when you're on the freeway and then you get called and they're like, where you at? And then you see what sign you're at and you tell them that you're actually like 10 signs later. Like he's at Union Hills, but he's like, yeah, I'm on fucking Bethany home. Yeah, right. Because I've seen him do that to other people while I'm with him. So I know he does that to me constantly. This motherfucker, he's fired. He lies to me and shit. Fuck you. And then he's going to come in. I'm going to have to hear about all this stupid fucking comic book drama. I've never heard more drama in my life. Every single time he comes over here, he has something to talk about from the comic book drama. Maybe he's all stressed out and I don't know. There's this better be. There he is right there. All right. I'm going to fucking load a bong real quick. Mcclay better not show up all happy and shit like he did last week, because I'm going to fucking shit on his parade. You can get your official Where the Fuck is Mcclay coffee mugs at our teespring.com/the Bogcast. What's up, motherfucker?
I'm gonna grab a drink.
What time does that say right there?
Roll over on the 101, bro.
I don't give a shit. That's no excuse. Shooting at 1 means 12:30. That's 2 strikes. That's 2 strikes, bro.
Fuck off.
One more, dude. I'm gonna have to fucking find another tall, long-haired, bearded dude. Dude, we're live right now, dude. This is our first live show right now. I'm not even kidding.
Great.
And I just fucking... I almost gave you your second and third strike right now and just fired you right now in front of everybody. We only have 11 viewers right now, though.
Hi. Look at this fucking beast.
I had Fabius as a co-host for like the first 20 minutes, and then I had... Or 20 minutes, about 12 minutes. And then our other co-host, Oddball, here.
Oh, yeah. Look at your fucking puppy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He used to do this shit at Stealth Publications when I worked with him at telemarketing. He got fired once a week by our boss, Timmy D, who we eventually became, we're still good friends with him to this day. But he'd be like, Mcclay, you're fired. And Mcclay would be like, no, I'm not. And he would just stay there, and he just wouldn't be. That's pretty much what he's doing to me right now. I just gave him a second strike, and he told me to fuck off. Well, do you have anything to say to our... I'm kind of nervous right now because...
Are you really live?
Yeah, on Facebook and YouTube.
Ooh, nice. Not bad.
Can you take over the audio?
Yo, what's going on here? Check.
Oh, you might have to turn it up. Try now.
Check.
So I asked actually, because on my phone I was able to take like live questions and shit, and I asked them, should I keep you, should I fire you? And they literally, all the fans started #fire Mcclay. So
I'm unfireable, bro. You just said it.
when did I say that?
I just said it right now. That you can fire me all you want. I'm not going. I'm not leaving. I'm just staying here.
So that's creepy. I'm gonna have to get a restraining order, dude. Do you know how gross that sounds?
What, that you have to get a restraining order on your best
No,
friend?
you're
Yeah, that
slurping-
sounds really fucking
You slurping on a
gross.
squirt with your fucking squirt shirt.
Oh, it's glorious.
Jesus Christ. Sorry for the audio listeners.
By the way,
That's like okay. We guys don't understand. That's an extra 20 minutes of audio edits for me.
Yeah.
Like that's 20 minutes of my life for that little fucking 4-second. Now I got to edit that now. Anyway, I'm all worked up, dude.
Why?
I mean, we all know I'm in a dark spot. Fucking all the shit going on. My life's a disaster. Fucking
Everybody's like that, bro.
But
everybody.
But
at
then
least-
like the fucking this crazy the bitch in the I shouldn't say that. I hate saying that because I actually do feel honestly bad for her. I just wanted to show you this video of all the crazy shit she was doing.
the
The lady with the mental health.
I haven't seen the other ones. I've seen
No, I'm gonna show you like the full on
craziness.
clips, and then I'm just gonna explain the story.
Your tray,
You want the big or small?
small, and the
Grinder.
Yeah.
Here, I'll take that. The B. Hide that. We got called out for that.
Really?
I think it was on the Bog TV Cribs, and
Uh-huh.
someone was like, "Back to the blunts, ha ha ha." But to be fair, the Bog TV Cribs was shot the day of the cones,
Yeah.
So like that was kind of like the last day. I mean, so that was like the last day of the blunts.
Yeah. Well, not
For
necessarily.
like 4 days.
Yeah, I was about to say. You want to tell that story? So I come over to shoot a show.
Oh yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since the cones, and I had already started smoking blunts again just because it takes so long. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't mind smoking cones, I don't mind smoking
blunts are
paper,
awesome.
but blunts are they're easier to roll until I get something that makes it easier. It's quicker. Anyway, so I come over and I have a couple blunts rolled in my bag, and I didn't say anything. And then we finished the first show. In the break between the second show, Keith gets up and he goes and he has a hiding spot and he pulls out a little blunt and he goes, "Don't say anything."
Before you got here, I had all the blunt, like the roaches, and Jordan was laughing. She's like, "You're hiding this from Blake." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm telling him." And I was craving it so bad in between the shows. And then this motherfucker, I'm smoking a blunt, and then he pulls out his blunts. He's like, "I brought some too," and I was like, "You were gonna smoke blunts on the show, you asshole!" And you're like, "You're smoking one right now." Like, I knew that was like kind of the joke. But yeah, it was just a funny fucking. I was like, how long did that last?
Yeah,
it's just the nicotine, man, that's in it. That just.
It's not that for me. And one of the things that you said is totally true.
How it burns?
Well, not how it burns. How it always goes out. Like it.
Well, I don't want. Should we talk shit? Are we talking shit?
Well, I'm not talking shit on Raw. Raw is the best. I mean, Raw is like. One of the best companies, not just cannabis companies.
So what I'm trying to say is, instead of saying the raw papers always go out, I'd rather say that the blunts, they just burn better. So I'm not shit talking.
No,
you know what I mean?
no. Hey, listen, man. I mean, we're using raw. I use all my raw stuff.
Mcclay has raw underwear on.
Yeah. Did you see those? Anyways, I won't get into it, but they have like these cool magnet tray things. Did you see those?
Those right there?
No, they're like these wooden things that have magnets on the side of them, and they go together, and they're like these trays that you got these different little spots and shit for you can do cool.
They have
shit.
all kinds of fucking dope shit to order.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll wait till you could roll first but I could start telling the story just because it's kind of it's more just freaking out the neighbors and Jordan. Jordan's terrified to leave the house, especially what happened 2 days ago. But it actually started probably about 2 weeks ago when, I walk these fucking dogs constantly all day. And so I'm taking them like, Fabius just kind of like on just like a mini walk so he could pee after his nap. And I just hear like the weirdest, craziest noises coming from the third floor. It was literally someone going, and I'm walking and I'm thinking into my first thought is, I'm on a hidden prank show. They're going to film me how I react to this because this is so bizarre. And I'm looking for the lighting. I'm like, is there lighting? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, okay, there's no lighting. This isn't a prank show. Because it was so fucking weird.
Was it at night?
No, it was fucking like 2 p.m. I could walk these dogs here during the day because it's all shaded. You know what I mean? So I can take them on these little mini walks during the day. And I couldn't see exactly where it was coming from. Just the area was just upstairs, and I couldn't see the lady, right? So then, I don't know, maybe another couple days goes by. Oh, by the way, I'm just hearing these kinds of noises like all day. Then about 2 or 3 days later, I hear the same kind of noises mixed with screaming, right? Like probably about 2 or 3 times. And then about the third or fourth scream, the lady was screaming, bro, like she was being fucking murdered. And I heard glass break. So I fucking was like, what the fuck? Jordan's at work. So I just ran out into the courtyard, and about 3 or 4 other neighbors ran out too because they were concerned. Like my next door neighbor came out. We're like, what the fuck? I don't even know where it's coming from. I'm just looking up from the courtyard. And then I see the security guard running on the second floor, and he's like, man, we need to get inside. The police are coming. And he's telling everyone the police are coming, kind of like, it's going to be handled, So the police come. I don't know exactly what happened. I guess they just kind of calmed her down. I don't even know what happened after that, right? I just kind of went on my business. Then the next day I'm walking Fabius, and my neighbor's like, that was crazy what happened last night, right? And I'm like, what? He's like, you didn't hear? I'm like, no. He's like, check this shit out. And he shows me a video of fucking SWAT from our parking lot, literally like where we park our car, shooting in a fucking smoke bomb through her window, breaks her window, like, fucking smoke comes to disorient her, and then SWAT comes in on the other side with fucking lasers, and they fucking tackle her down. He doesn't have like footage of like inside. This is all like outside footage. But they bring her out in like one of those Hannibal Lecter things where she's fucking can't move and her, you know, something around her face. And I'm like, what the fuck happened last night? He's like, yeah, this was like midnight last night. I was passed out. I didn't hear anything. And he said she had another just, you know, mental breakdown, manic breakdown. And what happens is the police get called, and then they call like a crisis team. The crisis team came, and I guess she just completely lashed out on the crisis team, spitting and doing all these crazy things. And then I guess this is just my conclusion. I don't know if this is true, but I'm under the assumption that she maybe had some type of weapon, because SWAT only goes in there if they think there's kind of a weapon, because I just from other situations that I've been aware of, you know. So I feel like that she probably had a weapon. They had to bring SWAT in there just to make sure that everything's safe before they went in there, you know. And I was like, holy shit. And I still have no idea what this lady looks like. So Jordan's fucking terrified. Everyone's fucking scared. There was a hole in that lady's window for fucking days because she's gone, right? And then, you know, me and Jordan, like, every new person that walks by, we're like, is that the lady? Is that the lady? Is that the lady? Then about 5 days ago, I'm walking Fabius, and it's always just when I'm just walking Fabius. I go back and forth. Sometimes I'll walk them both at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm walking Fabius, and she just starts following me, going, like, look, like, so I finally see her, and she's looking at me. I like your dog. I'm like, what the fuck? Do I say anything? Do I not say anything? So I just kept to myself, ignored, and then just tried to divert because I did not want to like walk her to my shoulder where I live and shit. She, you know, and she just kept saying, I like your dog, and making these weird noises. And I'm like, what the fuck? So finally she just, I don't know, gets distracted by something else, and I kind of break off of her, and I'm able to get back safely. And I'm telling Jordan's like, I don't like this, blah, 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 you know. And she, you know, she walks the dogs too here and there, and fucking, you know, she doesn't even want to leave the house.
Jordan's very like super confrontational.
Oh, for sure. Yes, yeah. She doesn't want any
no smoke.
Yeah. Like we actually go out of our way to kind of just stay to ourselves, you know, keep the peace, you know what I mean, not bother anybody, you know. And anyway, so then the neighbors are telling me too, like, you know, this lady obviously shouldn't be living here. If, you know, you see her doing any of this, film her, because we need evidence to get her out of this, you know, get her out of here. So I'm like, okay. So then, not yesterday, the day before, I'm pulling into the parking lot, and I see my next door neighbor, it's a lady with 2 daughters, on the phone like this, like hurrying her kids into the van. And I'm like, what the fuck? She looks all stressed. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I see this lady dressed like, wearing pretty much nothing. You'll see in the video, like her tits out, her fucking pussy's hanging out. She has a spray bottle, and she's like, she's screaming at this lady and like spraying in the air towards her. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's kind of, so I start filming right away as like I'm driving, pulling into the parking lot. And then I get out and I just start filming this lady. And then my neighbor drives by, and she's like, I'm on the phone with 911. Like you'll see in the video. And you know, we kind of like, we hadn't talked at that point. So we were kind of like, yeah, this is that crazy lady from upstairs. I hate to say crazy lady, just obviously a lady with fucking mental health issues. Cause you know, it's not fucking, it's not funny at all. And but it's freaking everybody out, and it's scary, you know? And, so she drives off, and I just kind of continue filming her, and she's just going on these kind of just crazy, just rants, you know, not making sense.
Kind of like schizophrenic type.
Yeah. And then, you know, even in the video, you hear me laughing here and there. I'm not laughing at her, but because she said some funny, crazy shit. Like she goes, and at the weed store, they're putting human shit in the weed. And I'm like, I kind of agree with that, you know, like... It's like she was saying, like you can't help but laugh at some of this shit, you know.
At the weed store.
Yeah. So she was going up to cars and just spraying them, you know, and she started walking towards our car and was getting ready to spray. And I was like, ma'am, can you please not? I wish I just didn't say anything. But I go, ma'am, can you please, not spray our car? And this triggered her to kind of just get a little bit more like
Combative.
Combative is a great word. I want to say violent, but combative. And then she started walking towards me, and I'm kind of confused exactly what she was talking about, what she was saying, because she started saying how the laundry room or the laundry machine in the laundry room is going to kill everybody. But then she started saying like, I'm going to kill all you motherfuckers, and was like walking up the stairs. And then I just went straight toward the, my unit, because I was going to tell Jordan, do not fucking like, leave right now, or, our apartment. Don't go outside. So I go in our courtyard, and she's on the fucking second floor, and she's like, you're going to die. Your girlfriend's going to die, and your dogs are going to die. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm calling the police at this point, because like, I'm not scared personally, but like Jordan's like Jordan doesn't want any. Jordan wants to like move now.
You don't want to deal with.
We
that
love
shit.
it here, by the way. Like, we love our unit and shit. Like, but now like we want she wants to move from here and shit. Like, because she's fearful anytime she steps outside, and you shouldn't have to live in fear.
No.
So anyway, it's kind of pointless for me to call, because there's already a
case
officer on the way, and so they get here. And I could tell the police and the apartment complex, they're kind of like at a conundrum as far as like, is that even a word, conundrum?
Yeah.
Did I say it right? Because I always fuck
so.
up words. They fucking, because I saw the police officer telling the apartment complex lady, we can call the crisis team, but it's going to take, anywhere from 2 to 8 hours for them to come, this and that, what should we do, blah, blah, blah. And then finally I just told the apartment, I go, this lady fucking threatened to, kill us, right now, or, said some pretty wild shit. And she
did. She threatened to kill you. I'm gonna your dog's gonna die.
Yeah. So she went and told the police officer that, and he's like, can I see the video of that? And so all of a sudden I'm in the middle of fucking, all this crazy shit showing the officer. So I'm like, yeah. I showed him the video, and in the video that I showed him, she originally didn't say that shit. So I'm like, fuck, I guess I didn't get it. So then I pulled up another video, and she's walking up the stairs, and she's like, I'll kill all you motherfuckers. And he just looks at it and goes, oh, that's enough, I got her. And she just immediately went upstairs and arrested her ass.
Wow.
And now, like, this was like about 3 days ago, and like I said, Jordan is just constantly like, is she back? Like I had to walk her to her car just to go to work, because
that shit's fucking freaky.
Yeah, it is pretty.
You don't, when
she does
craziness is involved, you don't know, there's no way to handle a situation, because anything can happen.
Yeah, especially like weapons are involved, or,
Yeah. Especially when it's like real craziness, because then it's, anything's open.
Yeah, I had this weird guilt of like being the person to get her arrested, but at the same time it had to happen because she doesn't belong here.
She needs help.
She needs to be somewhere where she's being monitored.
Mm-hmm. She needs
24/7.
Yeah.
And I'm no doctor at all, but I would think it's some type of schizophrenia. When the neighbors were telling me this story, I thought it was some type of fucking bad LSD trip. Honestly, I was like, wow, this sounds like some fucking, like, she's just meeting her demons on this acid trip,
What's that shit? Spice. Remember the spice?
Oh, Spice,
shit?
yeah. But seeing it in person, I was like, this looks like schizophrenia. I've not personally had family members. I know people with family members, and kind of dealt with it, and it seemed kind of similar, But yeah. So that's what's going on right now.
Well, I mean, you sent me the video.
Well, here, check it out.
Just her being like,
I'm not going to show this up here, but I just want
store.
I just want you to get a kind of an idea of like. That's the neighbor that was hurrying her daughters into the van driving off. So she had already called 911. But pay attention.
That's crazy. Oh, here she comes walking up to you.
Yeah, I got some better shots. But pay attention to her outfit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Rainbow. She goes. She sees a rainbow and she goes, rainbow.
Because she sprayed it with a water bottle. Yeah. She's saying like,
I love your dogs though.
she's saying like, I am you and you are me. I love your dogs though. Like,
She's spraying on you. Yeah, she's.
I understand this outside of my complex because there's homeless people with mental health problems everywhere. But I don't understand how someone like this gets an apartment inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it makes me,
that's
sad.
Crazy. That's crazy.
This
right
is
there.
this is.
And it's not talking shit on her. That's crazy.
There's nobody around that she's
Yeah.
talking to, and this is midday, probably 2 p.m. on
Yeah.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
and it's been going on for like 2 weeks. So, apparently there's some type of form on her door. It looks like Forest Park versus her. Like some type of court, thing
to get her out of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do they call that? Eviction.
Eviction. Yeah, I'm sure more than enough people complain. The apartment lady asked me to write up an incident report, so I actually talked about pretty much exactly what I just told you right now, as far as everything that's happening and Jordan's fear. Fucking this, between this and those fucking dogs that they put here,
Yeah, the dogs.
the morale is the lowest it's ever been here.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they just upgraded their website, dude, and it looks like the baddest, most luxurious place ever. Like when you walk around, this place looks bad as fuck.
Everybody that we've had on the show is like, wow, what is
Every
this
single
place?
person,
Yeah.
every single guest that comes is like, wow, this place is amazing.
Yeah, it's like a hidden treasure.
But if you go on the reviews right now for the past year, what the fuck happened to this place? This place sucks. Well, guess what happened? Typical bullshit. Fucking family owned forever. The guy put his heart and soul to it. Fucking 35 plus years or whatever. Retires, gives to his fucking cunty daughter, and then she just runs into the ground. And you could tell because when he was running, there was 3 fucking really nice sweet ladies in a front office that you saw and you worked with. There was issues and problems. Fucking fired them. Now you don't even see or hear from management, and when you message them or email them, they don't have a name. It just says management. And you're like, who the fuck am I talking to? What's your fucking name? You know what I mean? It's just, they don't care anymore, dude. There's dog shit fucking everywhere. like no one gives a fuck.
Well, when you said they don't care anymore, that's just not this apartment. That's like our world now. Like people don't care about having social discourses or like social contact. It's like you said, it's a faceless, it's management.
Yeah.
Instead of it's, Kelly down at management, it's management.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And they're like conditioning us too, I feel like with all the shit going on the past year or so.
Getting
you
ready.
Just trying less contact and all that stuff.
Well, that's conspiracy people are nuts, but there's a reason that conspiracies are out there because of shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a weird fucking time, man. Weird. Like you said, it's the Matrix.
No, it's like what's that fucking Mike Judge movie?
Yeah, Idiocracy.
It's Idiocracy, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna be all fucking, growing for electrolytes and all that shit for that, or what was it? Using electrolytes to, I forgot. The electrolytes were involved in the plot line, but it was genius. Fucking love Mike Judge. Oh man, but yeah, dude.
I'm so tired, bro. It's been a long fucking week.
It's crazy. Are you gonna watch the UFC fights tonight?
I don't know. Can I get your ashtray? I don't know. I know Nate Diaz is fighting.
You're never gonna believe this.
What?
Remember when I lived with you, the dispensary I would ride your bike to, like 3 times a week. What was that called? It was on 83rd and Union.
Yeah. Greenhouse.
Oh yeah,
Urban Greenhouse.
No, that's on isn't that the one on 17?
Yeah. Urban Greenhouse. It's something like that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a fucking Curaleaf now, of course, because Curaleaf bought everybody. But and to be honest with you, I hear nothing but bad things about Curaleaf from even people that work there.
Yeah.
But Nick Diaz is going to be there tomorrow.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Wouldn't that be cool to be able to just go anywhere and be like, I need to make a couple couple grand and go get some free weed and just go hang out at a weed store.
Dude, he has the baddest video on YouTube right now of him flying here, you know, in a private jet, fucking staying in a badass house here. He got here like a week early. They're just smoking weed at the house, and it's bad, dude. They're bad motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know, dude. They are cool motherfuckers. Well, they're being kind of vindicated right now. Have you been paying attention to like the whole thing with like Jake Paul going out there and talking shit about Dana White and being like,
oh, the money?
I just made $20 million, and the heavyweight champion doesn't make anywhere near that. Like, you guys are getting fleeced.
That was one of the greatest things Jake Paul probably has ever said.
Yeah, well,
and he called Dana White a bitch, pretty much.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that like Nate Diaz
and he's right.
Yeah, Nate Diaz has been doing that for the past 5 years. Like, nobody's getting.
But
paid
Jake Paul was able to like throw it in their face even more with this exhibition match. You know what I mean? And how much money he's making, not even being a real fucking fighter. You know.
Yep.
What sucks is that these fighters have to sell the fight. It all comes down to pay-per-views at the end of the day.
Yep.
And if you don't fucking sell it like it's some dramatic soap opera and talk shit, and that sucks that the fighters have to even worry about that. Like, they should just be able to focus on the fights, you know? And Dana White should, like Jake Paul said, should be paying these guys, give fucking these top dogs $10 million and shit a fight or whatever. Like, he said that they have the worst owner to player payout in all of sports. He's right.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know, I'm like, fuck Dana White also.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he's right, you know, if he's right about this, but it's from all the evidence, it seems like he's right about this, you know.
I would love to talk to, I'm sure they would never say it, but like off camera, like to hear people say what, you know, that are in the UFC or that have been in the UFC, talk about that and see how much they've gotten paid and exactly what it is, because I bet you some of those guys didn't get dick.
Oh, yeah. Dude, you know what's funny is we do know somebody in an industry that exposed it to us, and that's the WWE. Remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was crazy, dude. Well, we kind of knew how it was, but we didn't know how crazy it was.
Yeah, we can't obviously say names or anything, but we are friends with somebody who whose significant other is a very, very famous former WWE wrestler.
Yeah.
And when I heard what they have to go through as far as, like, I don't want to say too much, but as far as traveling and the injuries, just the time put into it versus the money they get, I think, like, we even did the calculations of it. They make like $13 an hour.
Yeah.
Because like some of them are like 16-hour drives.
Yeah.
Well, that's time you're putting into that. They're not getting paid for, and they don't get paid for gas.
No, and they have to get
fucked.
there. Yeah, they have to get there too.
Yeah, and you have to work towards that. Like, what? I thought all these top dogs would be flying on private jets and all this. No, they're driving from event to event in their own rides.
Well, I heard something the other day that...
Fuck, I don't... Am I going to be able to keep this in the podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So... Jesus. So,
fucking, that's another 10 minutes of audio edits, you fucking asshole.
John Cena. John Cena.
Fuck him.
That's his real name, John Cena. And Vince McMahon owns that dude's name.
Okay, so I hope he doesn't get mad that I'm telling this story, because it was kind of an embarrassing moment personally. But same person that we were talking about with the significant other wrestled
had a cup
in
of
the
coffee.
minors.
He had a cup of coffee.
And had a dip, like, very short time in the WWE.
Yeah, a cup of coffee.
What's that? What do you mean? Just like
you're only up long enough to drink a cup of coffee and go back down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I had wrote a theme song for this motherfucker that, you know, he was... To this day, he's still in love with it. Like, he actually messaged me a few weeks ago, pulled out the old jam. I'm fucking crying right now. Like, it's so sick. It was funniest, baddest dude ever, this guy, right? And he would play the song, you know, like as his like intro music coming out, and there was a chant in it. I don't want to say the chant because it would give away his name and stuff, but people would chant it. He would tell me, like, he would go to the parking lot after the match, and all the wrestlers would be getting high in the parking lot, and once he would walk out, they'd all start chanting it to him and shit. I'm like, dude, that's so bad, you know. anyway, so he fucking calls. He's like, dude, I fucking got bumped up to the, WWE, blah, blah, blah. Fucking gonna use your song, this and that. I'm like, oh, this is what? Like the fucking song that I fucking wrote, or I shouldn't say even wrote, like just produced, because I actually just got a bunch of good motherfuckers together and produced the thing. You know what I mean? I don't even want to take writing credit for this thing. And just something that I fucking, helped create is going to be on the WWE on like, what is that, the USA Network and shit, And anyway,
TNT or something.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even a wrestling fan. I know anything about it, but we have a lot of good friends and doing shit. So anyway, I gather up like a few buddies. I thought maybe you were even there. This was at my dad's house on 51st, and we're getting all excited for him to come out and then play my song. But you know how they do like the talking shit beforehand?
Yeah.
Like, what do they call that? I don't know.
Commentation.
Yeah,
commentators.
Yeah. Just to like.
Oh, the wrestlers, you mean?
Yeah. So like one wrestler was there, and then all of a sudden they're bringing out another wrestler, and they're kind of like talking shit to each other.
Yeah.
And that other wrestler was our friend.
Yeah.
And he's getting ready to come out, different name.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck? My heart dropped.
It was so dumb. Dude.
And it wasn't the greatest. Well, I think it's a lame name because the name he had was so
perfect,
fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And so I was like, what the fuck? It was kind of embarrassing that I gathered people to like watch the song that, we did to fucking play on USA and shit. And then, I talked to him like a day or two later, and it all makes sense afterwards. And it goes back to what you were saying is there's no way Vincent McMahon is going to allow him to not only have his own name and own it, but have some outsider come in and have a song for it. Yep. So they made him change his name completely.
They own everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So it's crazy that he owns John Cena's name, but it's kind of funny because like I know it kind of.
I wonder if he actually buys. Like sometimes they have like I don't know if and let us know in the comments below if there's any wrestlers that have like a radio song as their walkout song. You know what I mean?
A what?
Like a radio song? Because I wonder if he goes and buys those fucking songs. You know what I mean?
Like a commercial trendy song?
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think so. Maybe, and you're right. It goes all goes back to Vince McMahon is such a smart fucking Machiavellian businessman that he owns it all. That dude owns it all. That dude went from being I don't know if he was a referee first or something, but he was the owner. But then he's like, I got to get my face in here. So then he started becoming the commentator, and then he started becoming, the heel. And then the next thing you know, the dude's fucking ripped, jacked as fuck, and he's wrestling.
He's still jacked. He's like 70.
Yeah, and he's wrestling in the ring, and you're like, dude, not only is this dude own everything, he is wrestling.
Oh yeah, I forgot. He used to like play himself as a character in the ring. Yeah.
Yeah. And even before then, way back in the day, I remember seeing like him. He would be commentating and he'd have like a ref jersey on and shit. I'd be like, "What the fuck," And now he is wrestling.
Oh, for sure.
Like Vince McMahon is wrestling.
Don't get me wrong. I have a certain amount of respect for him as far as just anyone who has that hardcore of a hustle and business smarts and all that. I just feel like he could compensate as the. Players.
Dude, I'm gonna send you
whatever
down
you call them.
hole.
The wrestlers better.
I'm gonna send you down a rabbit hole. So same thing. I never was into wrestling. Just like a little. I'd watch it every once in a while. As a
me
kid.
too.
Yeah. And
you kind of just know like Hulk Hogan, the big ones like Andre the Giant.
There's this documentaries that they're doing on wrestling. I don't know if it's Vice or who's doing them, but they're so good, dude. They are so good, bro. Some of and I'm not into wrestling at all, and I am just
any good documentary on anything you could get into. You know what I mean? Even if you're not personally invested in it.
They went over this one where they're talking about. It's called the Montreal Screw Job, where they have the crazy.
Is this
names.
like minor league shit?
No, this is big leagues.
Oh,
this is big leagues. So. Everything is so weird in wrestling, like how there's roles and you have to do certain things before you even get a chance. And the names they have for things, like the name they have for the shtick is called kayfabe. And nobody knows where kayfabe comes from. Don't fucking think that they do, because I looked it up. Nobody really knows where kayfabe comes from.
You're saving everybody that deep dive.
Yeah. Some people say, oh, that's a name for a wrestling coach or something that did this, or no, or it's nobody knows. But they call it kayfabe, and you can't break kayfabe, right?
This
you
is a
gotta
hold
continue.
or what is this?
Their shtick, like, you know how like they have like how they play a role, they're acting.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And this Montreal Screwjob, they're talking about how the workhorse guy in the WWF forever finally got to be champion, right? He finally got to go over, be put over, I think they call it. They call becoming champion going over, I guess. And
Meaning like his script was like,
Yeah.
you get to win today.
yes, yeah, and he finally did it. And then he's Canadian, right? And so he goes, he's gonna wrestle in front of all of fucking Canada, right? And it's his last match, and he's gonna wrestle all in front of Canada, and he thinks he's gonna win, and he goes through it, and I'm gonna win. And Vince McMahon changed it or this writing guy changed it at the last second, so he loses, and he didn't know, bro.
Oh, you mean like while he was in the ring,
Yeah,
or
yeah, he didn't know. He had no idea. They had the referee. They talked the referee into calling a 3 count faster, right? Instead of letting it lay out.
So his reaction is pretty genuine.
It's 100% genuine. And
Wow.
dude, it is so heartbreaking.
That's actually
kind of
smart.
It is.
For like writing the
It
shit.
is,
That
because-
sounds like something you would do as a director to your actor.
Yes.
But then at the end, the actor would be like, actually, you know.
Yeah, you got a reaction out of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
But fuck.
like if somebody hits you, like when they're not supposed to hit you, you know, in the face or something, like a slap.
Yeah.
It was so heartbreaking for this guy, man.
Is there a video of it? You saw it? And
It's on
on the Vice shit?
dude, it is so good. And I watched 3 documentaries on some wrestlers I've never even heard of. There's a really good documentary on the Von Erich family, which is a family of wrestlers. There's like 7 brothers, and they all wrestled, and like 3 of them died. You know, they got horrible.
Is it all
luck.
Vice shit?
Yeah, I think it's Vice. It's on YouTube. You can find it. You'll notice it when you find it. It's a series.
I love watching. We've talked about this, like Howard Stern interviews, and on his channel he'll post old clips, and I watched one recently of Hulk Hogan, and it's like, dude, this guy is just living in. I feel like my pain that I live in is nothing compared to, because he's had like 8 back surgeries. He literally like his
Got fucked over by his best friend.
dude. Oh man, like fuck. But they're actually doing a feature film on him, and guess who's playing him?
Chris Hemsworth.
And he's jacked.
Yeah, but he's got fucking pigeon legs.
Dude, his arms. Fucking
It looks
all those guys are.
off.
Well,
It looks off though, because his arms are so big,
Yeah.
bro, that it really looks off. It's weird.
I can't believe how big he is.
Yeah.
dude.
He's making bank to get that big too. They're like generational wealth, you know what I mean? Dude's probably making 20 million a picture.
Well, you know
right?
what's interesting is, I heard Paul Rudd talk about this when he got cast as Ant-Man. Is, you know, Howard Stern's like, you know, so does some team, you know, come in and, you know, get you into shape, blah, blah, blah. And Paul Rudd's like, yeah, I thought that was going to happen right when I signed on. Like, they're going to give me this badass team and I'm getting super shape. Like, you know,
Get a
Hemsworth.
doctor, get
He's
some
like,
steroids.
nothing. He's like, I had to do it all on my own and figure it out myself. I'm like, what?
You know what's funny
You
about that?
think they'd have like a whole department just to get you into super
Human.
or hero shape,
Yeah.
superhero shape.
Well, The Rock shows like what he does to do all his shit, and that shit's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Eat.
Have you seen his cheat day?
Yeah.
He has on
eats 2
Saturdays,
pizzas
bro.
or
His
something.
fucking like a dozen donuts. Like
Yeah.
he's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Well, those guys work their fucking ass off. And they really work their ass off to do that shit.
It would be cool to have a role where, you know, you have to get into like super shape for.
What
You know
about
what I
like
mean?
the opposite? Like
Oh
Christian
fuck yeah!
Bale?
Oh god, I would love to gain 80 pounds.
What
and
about
just-
the opposite? What about losing?
Oh, no,
where you have
never.
to eat apple.
Fuck
Yeah,
no.
where you got to eat an apple a day.
I love acting. Not that much. Fuck that. Leave it to the weirdos like Christian Bale and shit, bro. Those are one of a kind, dude.
Yeah.
That's just, dude. He is such a crazy motherfucker because for doing it for The Machinist, which was such a gamble at that time. That director's not big at all.
No.
There was no advertising for that film. Like, they almost sold the film off of that. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, the lead actor lost all. We were already fans of him at that time, but that was kind of the.
That's all you heard about.
Yeah.
You saw the picture.
Yeah. And then what was interesting is when he did Batman Begins, he actually showed up 30 pounds overweight, and they
Yeah.
had to delay the production because Nolan's like, dude, you're a little fucking chubby
And
now.
that was
So,
right
like,
after the Machinist, right? Or the Machinist?
yeah,
was
that's
right
what I'm saying. No, Machinist was before.
Yeah.
So he had lost all the weight, then gained a shit, like too much weight, and then he had to like
lose
like
again.
another 20, 30 pounds. Like that's got to be just so bad
And
for your
then he
body.
do it again where he gained a shit ton of weight.
He gained some for that what was that, like
The-
70s role,
yeah.
American Hustler?
American Hustle.
Hustle, yeah. He's definitely one of the most like transformative actors as far as like when he was Dick Cheney.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I met somebody on a set that worked on that set and just was saying how when they roll action, everyone's just like this.
Well, they kind of have to be, or he's gonna fucking lose it on him.
I should have asked the dude
Fucking
that.
silence.
Were you nervous to get yelled at? Fuck that lighting guy. Christian Bale's right. You
Yeah.
don't understand like how much time and fucking prep goes into that shit for some asshole just to walk right through it.
Yeah,
Like
I love
TMZ painted him as a bad, like, you know what I mean? I think any individual who's as invested as Christian Bale is into his art would lose their shit right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, professionalism, right? But here's the problem. Now Christian Bale is always going to be known for that, for being that dickhead.
I don't think so. I mean, it's people always know about it, but I think his acting is on such another level that everyone just knows. Like he's literally like a modern day Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't even
Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando right
Yeah.
now. You know.
Yep.
Like he's one of the last of the dying like lead main actors to me. Like the Leonardo DiCaprio's. You know, like
Brad Pitt.
the Brad Pitts. I feel like that's kind of an end of an era, especially
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, there's not going to be any more of those guys. All the actors now are on like social medias, you know their every thoughts. There's a little mysteriousness to fucking Leo and Johnny and all those guys because they're not.
Thing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite thing about bands and actors is when they don't play into that. Like I remember even a Tool in the '90s. You know,
Pink Floyd.
like they wouldn't show their faces in their albums or in their videos. So when you did see a picture of them, you're like, holy shit, this is what they look like. There's an odd mysteriousness about them that makes you more intrigued and keeps you interested.
Yep. And now everything's on the internet, and once it's on the internet, it's there forever. And Johnny Depp will never ever recover from fucking the shit that he's going through right now because it's on the internet.
As far as the shit with Amber Heard,
And like how fucking he's
looks
almost lost it. He's at rock
it
like
looks like shit.
he looks like shit. He fucking sounds like shit. He's got no money. I mean, I think he's even
Come on, he has
dude, he had to sell like so much
all his
shit.
dinosaur fossils.
Yeah, all his dinosaur fossils, yeah. Something like because he was drinking so much. Like he was drinking so much. Anyways,
that fucking bitch almost caused him to lose
fuck
his finger, dude.
Fuck her, dude. That
And
chick's
then
a cunt.
had the fucking, well, I don't know if she did, but then the media portrayed him as he was the monster.
Yep.
Literally for like 2 years, everyone was like, fuck Johnny Depp, until the audio leak of them fighting and her berating him and throwing shit at him. She fucking, I think she threw some type of glass object at him
And
that
then
caused him to cut his finger off.
And then she fucking
then you know what's interesting?
acted the whole time.
Dude, there's videos on YouTube where people take like public appearances of them and put it in a timeline of when all these fights were, and you could see like
the ambiance.
you could see like they're like how she's manipulating him there, even in the interview, telling him who not to talk to and this and that. Like she's like, I don't know.
she's a nut.
Yeah, she's a nut job, dude.
Well, she's one of the big things, I guess. During
Sometimes I gotta apologize really quick. I know I'm not the best podcast host ever. Sometimes I can't articulate what I'm trying to say the best way. I'm trying to get better at that.
cannabis. You need to get alpha
No,
brain.
I'm not gonna
alpha
blame it on
brain.
cannabis.
Alpha brain.
I hate when people blame shit on cannabis because, and I hate
I
that.
do it just as a joke.
I know, but
Yeah.
like that stereotype of cannabis and forget. That's like I do that shit. Like even if I'm not on cannabis, like
Yeah.
that's just normal shit.
Getting older, man.
Getting older, I'll use that excuse
Alpha
for
brain.
sure.
You need to get some alpha brain. That shit's too fucking expensive.
Dude, I was gonna get some Alpha Brain, and then I don't know why I do this to myself. I have to read reviews on shit before I buy things, and I started reading the Amazon reviews, and like I felt like 2 out of fucking 5 people said how it just tears their stomach up really bad.
Really?
I'm
Fuck
like, what
that.
the fuck?
Yeah, fuck that. My dad takes something. He takes like some type of brain functioning medication. Definitely not Alpha Brain.
I pop like 12 different vitamins, bro, like around 11 a.m. noon.
And that doesn't fuck your stomach up?
No, because I eat, you know what I mean? And then, you know, I pop all these different vitamins. Like, I take, like, because I don't eat red meat.
Yeah.
But I do take, like, a beef liver pill. And it's just, like, a shit ton of nutrients in it, you know what I mean? And
it tastes like pennies?
It doesn't taste like anything. And once I take all those, dude, it kind of gives me that, like, super focus for a little bit, you know?
Fuck, we were just talking about, what were we just talking about? There's something I was going to bring up. I think it was Christian Bale. Oh, did you see the new role that he's going to be in a Marvel movie?
Isn't he in Thor?
Yeah, he's in
Thor.
Thor.
They just wrapped that.
Yeah.
I think he's the villain.
He's Gore the God Butcher, dude. A
I didn't even know
badass
that.
villain.
Oh, okay.
A dope villain.
I like how they didn't show any set pics of him on there, or, you know, the character yet. It'll be more interesting.
The character's really dope, dude. Really cool character. It was from one of the best runs in comics in the last, 20 years. Just really mind-blowing shit. Really good shit, dude.
I'm not a comic book guy, obviously. Or I kind of gave up on the movies. We've talked about that. But I am a huge fan of, I want to say his name right. What's his name? Taiki?
Ta-Nehisi Coates?
No, this guy.
Waititi?
Taka
Waititi?
Taiki Waititi.
Taka
I can never host the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, dude, this guy is so creative. Not only as a director, as an actor. Like, he's a bad motherfucker. And he's the director. Writer. Like, he gives great advice on, he gives writing tips. And Joe, if I went on a kick, like a 2-day kick of his films, like with Jojo Rabbit and some of his earlier independent films and stuff. And
yeah, my brother was just watching the vampire one.
Oh, I know you're talking about that show with the two other new guys from New Zealand, because they're from New Zealand and shit.
Yeah.
So as far as the new Thor coming out, there's like a female Thor.
So they're
like Natalie Portman, right? So she's like the new Thor.
So they're playing off of two storylines that happened in comics one right after each other. The first storyline is like this time-bending storyline in the comics. It was really, really smart writing. It was at one time you're watching three parts in time happen. You're watching young Thor, old mid-age Thor, and old Thor. And like old Thor's all fucked up. He's all fucked up.
He's been through some shit.
You know what I mean? Young Thor is just like, it's really good writing.
Like learning and training.
Yeah. And it's really good writing. And at the same time, you got this character who's really, really good villain. They really did a good job, like characters, study on him. You know what I mean?
An arc.
Yeah, an arc. And it's a brand new character called Gore the God Butcher, who was like this alien on this planet, kind of like the Thanos thing. He was like an alien on a planet. But his thing was they would pray to the gods constantly, pray to the gods. The gods were everything, right? And then they had a thing happen where basically their planet was going to die, and they're all praying to the gods, and the gods would not help him. So he was one of the few aliens from this planet that lived, but he said, fuck it, I'm gonna go kill the gods. And he gets this power from a god. Every god that he kills, this and that.
This is all before like the movie takes place.
Yeah.
So like this is the main villain's backstory.
Yeah, this is the main villain's backstory. Yeah. And then so he goes after, obviously Thor's a god, so now he's going after Thor, right? And he is a fucking badass character. So, and then that story arc ends. And
just really quick, when you say news story, how recent?
So this was 2008, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So then after that storyline kind of, slows down and ends, they bring in this new storyline where Thor's girlfriend, Jane Foster, gets cancer, and then in order for her to stay alive, she becomes worthy. Thor loses the title. He loses Mjolnir or whatever. He doesn't want it. In this Thor God of Thunder run, it's called Thor God of Thunder. In that run, he doesn't have Mjolnir. He has this badass...
Is that the hammer thing?
Yeah, he doesn't have the hammer. He has this badass axe, right? Well, the reason why he doesn't have the hammer is because his girlfriend, Jane Foster, has it. And when you have the hammer, that you're Thor at that time, right?
So that's how you get the power.
Yeah, that's how you get you. Yeah,
You
get
only have the power when you have it.
when you have the hammer. Yeah, Thor has the
I didn't know
power.
that.
Thor's still powerful as a god, but he's not as powerful as when he has Mjolnir.
Okay, but so when what's her name, Jane Foster? So since she's not a god, she ain't shit without it.
yeah, so that's
Right?
So that's part of the storyline. She has cancer.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and the only way that she can stay alive is she has
This thing.
yeah. So she becomes Thor. At the time, I'll be honest. Here's when this was going on when my brother was sick. That's what I'm 100%. I remember that because it kind of pissed me off. It was cheesy to me. It was like, why do they got to make at the time Marvel was doing this thing where they were like really female centric, right? They were changing characters into females, and it was just didn't feel right at the time. And
But now looking back, do you feel like it was right?
oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, so let me ask you this, because I feel like we talk about all kinds of things currently happening in comics now that piss you off. Do you think years from now you'll look back on that?
Oh yeah, hindsight.
So is it
always
just
2020, right?
So it's just when there's change like this in comics, it's just hard to accept.
It's very hard to accept. And at the time, this was very hard to accept. And here's the funny thing. I still get, not hate, but people, like, people that are watching the Flip Side show. And I bring this storyline up because I say, I didn't like the Jane Foster Thor storyline. I thought it was cheesy to me. But everybody else is like, there's no way if you read that storyline, you didn't like it. Everybody thinks it's so good. So basically, they're turning those two storylines into the film. Yeah. I don't know how close to the original they'll stay. That Waititi guy, he's probably got some crazy.
The one
shit
thing
going
I
on.
don't like necessarily about what he does into the Marvel films, I feel like a lot of this with the newer Marvel films is that it's just too much humor.
Yeah.
And there just needs to be this fine line of the drama and the humor. Sometimes it'll be like the most dramatic part, and it's kind of or even heartwarming, and then there's like a joke right after. When it's like you could let those dramatic parts, breathe out a little bit, or I just feel like there's just.
I think
and some of the jokes aren't even that fucking funny.
Yeah.
It's just like you could take out like 10 jokes. In these
I think
Marvel
they were learning.
Movies,
Their shit now is amazing, bro. Did you see Loki?
No, should I watch it?
Oh yeah, dude. It's really fucking good, dude.
I really like Tom Hiddleston as an actor.
If this is still Kevin Feige doing this shit.
Oh, for sure. I thought he was.
I don't know how much he has his hands on stuff. If he's like pushing storylines, if he's like,
exactly what he's doing. Yeah, as far as I wonder that too.
Yeah, because if
how
this
much
is coming straight from him, this dude's a genius. Like how he's doing things, he's basically turned Marvel into. You can come up with almost any storyline you want now and tell it using a Marvel character, and that's and all these writers are jumping in. That's what Loki is. Loki's crazy, dude. Loki is so good, dude. And it's only one episode.
I enjoyed WandaVision a lot,
and that's what they're doing.
Like the creativity of it was just on another level.
And they're making certain movies. Like you're saying, right? So you have like the Ant-Man movies where you're going to see that it's going to be full of just fucking Paul Rudd, stuff. It's a total Paul Rudd movie, right? You're going to see that. Then you're going to go see...
By the way, I would love to have seen the Edgar Wright version because he's one of my favorite directors of all time.
You were really stoked for that when that was coming out.
He put his heart and his soul into that movie for 2 years. But I think, Edgar Wright to me is like one of those Quentin Tarantino directors, you know what I mean? And he's such an individual that... he can't be controlled by Marvel, and obviously they had creative differences, and Paul Rudd kind of like took it from there. So he had this amazing blueprint, and then just kind of like gave it the Paul Rudd twist. I forgot who he co-wrote it with. I think the newer director that they hired on, but I like Paul Rudd. I think he's a funny, cool dude. I just didn't. Ant-Man, I was just kind of like.
Well, here's the funny thing, dude. The new Ant-Man. So what they've done right now with this whole timeline thing, it has opened up so much storytelling, good storytelling that we're going to start seeing. And Ant-Man, everybody's stoked for Ant-Man right now because of what's going on in Loki. And everything's intertwined. That's what makes this so great. And you don't have to see the other shit it's still good.
But it's even better if you do.
Yeah, man.
I know. I feel like if I had continued to watch all the movies, WandaVision would have been so much better.
Yes.
Dude, because I didn't even know... Vision died.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, he must have died. And I had to kind of like look it up on YouTube and watch that whole scene,
Well, So another cool thing that they're doing is they're trying to like go like even more dark, like a horror aspect. Like that's what they're saying with the Doctor Strange movie. It's gonna be like horror.
Fucking Sam Raimi, bro.
Yeah. Yep. Do you
Evil
think
Dead, motherfucker.
Yeah, but I feel like every time
No, I know.
over the last couple of years, like he's
Fucked shit up.
yeah he's
Well,
done
the Wizard of Oz shit wasn't the
Yeah.
greatest. I like he did a horror movie about 10 years ago. I forgot what it's called. I thought it was good.
I don't even know what it is. I
Let
can't
me
even
look it up.
remember.
Let me look it up. And then
Spider-Man was terrible, I thought.
yeah, I tried and wanted to like Spider-Man. When I was working at ST, dude, I was surrounded by like Frank and Robert and
Comic nerds.
all they would do is talk about comics. And I would just get pumped fucking, hearing them talk about it, or I would even go with them, to watch these new movies. And at that time, it wasn't like now where every fucking week a comic book movie comes out. Like it was years sometimes before at least a good movie came out. So like, and I don't think there had even ever been a good Spider-Man movie before that. So it was like, holy shit, Spider-Man. Everyone was fucking losing their shit.
Yeah. Well, and I remember, funny you talk about that. I think that's why I like the Fantastic Four 2 movie so much, which everybody fucking hates. But I think I like it because I remember going to see it with Frank and everybody, fucking you work a shift and then you go straight to it.
Yeah, like the 10 o'clock showing, you stay up for like 4 hours and smoke weed and then go watch it. Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was. I remember that.
Yeah, the best parts to me about Spider-Man are like the Easter eggs, like the Evil Dead car being in it, the Bruce Campbell cameos, Joey Diaz in Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, yeah.
I love watching his scene in that.
Yeah. Are we going to start seeing any production from the Sopranos shit he's doing?
Well, they shot it last September. Dude, it's usually like a year post-production on stuff, It's crazy how long that shit takes, dude. There's things like, I don't even know exactly. I mean, I know what they're doing, but I don't know how they go about doing it. There's this thing called color correction, where a guy goes in and looks at each fucking frame and makes sure the color's kind of consistent all the way through like a film or a show, because you're shooting in all these different places and times and shit like that. So that shit costs a lot of money. So yeah, there's all this crazy shit that, anyway. Dude, something interesting that I wanted to tell you that I saw, me and Jordan, every night, we'll watch a show for about an hour or two, and usually we try to find something like super badass, engaging, like, fucking Game of Thrones or Better Call Saul, but sometimes, dude, you just can't fucking find anything, so we'll just watch the dumbest shit. And some of this dumbest shit is actually the most intriguing and interesting stuff, because she finds all these crazy ass shows on the Learning Channel. I think I've talked to you about this before. She has Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
So like not only is there no commercials, but it's uncensored. And we started watching the show called Breaking Amish. Have you ever heard that show?
Is this the one where the Amish dude is like a gangster?
I don't know.
Or is this the one where they're Amish and they're trying to get away?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's actually fucking sad.
Yeah, it's old, right? It's from a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's like from 2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are old.
Shit,
Yeah. Anyway, the premise of the show is people typically in their early 20s who grew up Amish, and it's pretty much like a fucking Jersey Shore of Amish in New York City, you know what I mean? And there's all kinds of drama within them, and then, they get exposed to like, the world. And it's just crazy how sheltered they are and kind of how abusive and culty it is, because none of them have good teeth. All their teeth are fucked up and falling out because they don't have a dentist. They don't know how to fucking, brush their teeth and shit like that. And they don't really know how to interact with people or have social skills. They stopped their education in 8th grade, so they don't know anything. Mm-hmm. So when they're interacting in the real world, they act like children, kind of, you know what I mean? But anyway, the most interesting part to me is the day that they get to go pick their English clothes. And the reason why it's so interesting to me is because their entire lives, they're completely sheltered from the outside world, right? So when they go pick their clothes, they're actually picking what they really like.
Yeah.
With out any inside influence from fucking music, fashion, or, you know, whatever, right? So they send him in the stores, and like this one guy, bro, he just goes in, he already has a mohawk, and he grabs like a leather jacket, these like spikes to come out, you know what I mean? And he just looks like punk rock as fuck, but he's never heard or known about punk rock his entire life.
So he
like,
doesn't know what it is.
But to him it looks rebellious. So
Yeah.
he just grabs, and the other Amish people are like, you're wearing that? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I just thought it was so interesting, like people picking their clothes. Because we're so like, you know, the way you grow up is like how you pick we picked our clothes in high school depending on, you know,
who you hung out
yeah,
with.
who you hung out with, the groups, you know, there's skaters, there's gangsters, there's fucking jocks, fucking preppies, you know what I mean? I don't know what it's like now,
Hippies.
but hippies, fucking, yeah.
Hessians.
What? Hessians. What were we? I feel like since I sold acid, I was just that guy that like
In between.
hung out with all those crews,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We were the cool kids.
Well, how far down the rabbit hole did you get? Are you still watching the show?
Yeah, there's only like 4 seasons, and then now there's a show called Return to Amish. Like some of them like went back and shit, and they get, because they went on the show, they get fucking shunned, so people won't look or talk to them or go on their property and stuff. It's like, fuck.
So did you go
Fuck
look?
them.
Did you go look it up on the internet yet?
Why? What happened?
You want me to break your heart?
Is this gonna just completely give the entire?
Yeah, it's gonna ruin the show for you.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's a lot of it's fake.
I know it's fake.
Okay.
Oh, while we're
That
watching
shit
it,
pissed me off so bad, dude.
I've actually done a deep dive on some of it. Some of them have been exposed to the world before.
Yeah.
But how do you still think I know it's fake? While I'm watching it, Jordan's telling me to shut up because I'm ruining everything. I'm like, oh, they definitely did 2 takes of that.
Yeah.
Oh, blah blah blah. Oh, I could tell like he'll
It's not totally fake.
No,
but
I know, but like they'll be sitting at a bar, right? And then the Amish guy's an aspiring, you know, he wants to be like Johnny Cash and perform, right? Randomly, there's 3 guys in a band there, right, sitting at the same bar, completely well lit, by the way.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, you want to jam with us tonight?" And blah blah blah. And I'm like, and I'm telling Jordan this when I'm telling you now. And she's like, "Why do you always gotta fucking ruin it for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, they're getting paid to go on there to interact with him. You know, like they set up those kinds of things, or even when they fight and there actually is real drama. If they don't think they got it on the camera, they'll be like, "Can you yell at each other and fight again?"
Yes, yep.
Like,
and you could tell they're acting on some of them.
yeah, totally. Yeah. I know that while I'm watching it. But
there was a big. I think
there's a lot of leaked photos that came out from these Amish people about like being exposed before and having kids and being married and all this shit.
Yeah, have been out of the Amish for 5 years before this show. That type of shit.
Yeah.
But that shit is crazy because I remember watching it when it was first coming out. I remember being like really enthralled in it. There was another one where it's the Amish and their gangsters.
Is it the ones with the what do they call them? Hasidic Jews?
No.
Because those guys are gangsters.
Yeah, those guys are straight gangsters. Like
you
real
showed
gangsters.
me some YouTube shit of like
New
them
York,
fucking with people. They're on bikes and
Yeah.
they're like pissed off at something, so they're fucking with this dude. And
yeah, you don't fuck. There's areas of fucking New York, like I don't know if it's Manhattan or what, where like you can't ride a bike in their neighborhood, man. They'll fucking come after you and be like, "Don't ride your bike in this neighborhood." Yeah. You're like, "What the fuck?" Straight up, Weird Al Yankovic, Amish gangster, dude.
yeah. Was it Amish Paradise?
Amish Paradise, yeah. Yeah, that shit's funny.
Yeah, that shit's fake as fuck, dude. I could never do reality TV.
No.
Like I see submissions for it all the time, you know. It pays well. But the thing is, I realized about reality TV, every single person they cast usually is just a complete fucking moron that they're trying to manipulate. And because every single person, I'm like, what? How could this is the biggest fucking idiot?
Yeah.
Like they only cast idiots in reality shows, dude.
Do you remember there was something I can't remember? It's like a fleeting memory. I don't know if it's real or not. Where they were doing like casting calls for Real World, and you just hear like at the bar this night there's casting calls.
Probably, yeah.
And like we would hear like, oh, this person got to like second round. He just went there and acted super fucking crazy, outlandish. And I'm just thinking to myself, I remember thinking to myself, yeah, that's about right.
Yep, that guy's a moron.
Yeah.
And then the worst part is they can edit the footage however they want.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, for example, like a lot of times what they'll do is I'll say say they're filming us right now. I'll say something to you, right? And then they'll show your reaction and you're just like, but what this here is from like half hour earlier when you were just chilling doing this, so it looks like you're fucking responding to it. And I point all that shit out because there was one scene where it's going back and forth, and one of the Amish ladies, like her thing on her dress was back here, and when she was talking to him, it was here. Yeah. And so I was like, those reaction shots aren't even from the same fucking conversation. Yeah. Jordan's like, shut up.
Do you remember a couple years ago, who was it, where like there was a scene in one of the reality series, it was some rapper or some producer or something, and there's one scene and he's got a hat, he's got a beanie on, and they cut 2 seconds to this guy and they go back to him, no beanie on, and then they cut back and another scene and he's got a beanie turned sideways on. He would like change it each time, and it was so
what
obvious.
Is this on?
It was on Ray J. It was Ray J.
A reality show.
Yeah, something with
those
Ray
things
J.
are unavoidable in television and film.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of mistakes like that. If you,
but I think he was just fucking with them. Though, you know
probably.
What I mean? Like,
I see what you're saying. Yeah, he knew.
Yeah, and he was just changing it a weird way each time. It was so obvious, dude. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do that shit.
Do you have any latest UFO news?
Still waiting.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
dude.
Haven't heard anything. Nothing.
Nothing's gonna happen.
But you know what I did? I did go down a rabbit hole. That Lou Elizondo dude is like on every fucking news channel there is, just talking about the same shit. So, I really have a feeling that they're just gonna pull the fucking carpet out from under us. Here's what I did, something very interesting. So I got a call from Daniel Aragon, right? So he's like, yeah, man, you're 100% right that like this shit cannot be Russia or fucking China. There's no fucking way possible. Like that would be so silly to think.
I never said that. I was just presenting.
No, you remember when I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, and that's the scariest shit is that if our government's seriously saying to us, like, it's not us, and there's no way it's fucking China or Russia, what the fuck is it? I mean, to me, it can only be two things at that point. Like, if the government is being serious and all whatever, that it's true, that they don't know what the fuck it is, and it isn't Russia or China, then it's only fucking two things to me. Fucking aliens or fucking something that's been here, like a lost civilization, that's been in the fucking earth or something, you know what I mean? Like that was one of those original civilizations and they've just been living inside the earth or something crazy. There's no fucking way that could be anything else, right? I mean,
I don't know.
Fucking, what is it, like fallen angels or angels?
I don't have
real?
the theory. I don't have the theory where it is Russia or China, but I don't have the theory where there's no way it couldn't be. Because I could believe that just as much as the alien shit. If they said like
even with Russia being like on, it was on full on collapse in the 90s, right? So it's only been back as a fucking bona fide country, world power, for a couple of years now in the short scheme of things, right? And you don't think that like our military would know what Russia and China has? I really think that like with the capability and the shit that we got flying in space right now with satellites and spy technology and shit, there's no way we would know about that. You don't think
China's doing that same exact shit and might be ahead of us?
And
I'm not talking about
no,
Russia.
No, I don't think they're ahead of us because I
like I said, what if the UFO crashed there and they,
that could be.
You're right. I mean?
You're right. That could be.
China's huge.
But you know what that means? That still means where did that UFO come from?
Or what if the UFOs came down and the aliens like, oh, I like China better than these fuckers?
That totally could have happened. But it's still aliens at that point. Still fucking aliens. And that shit's crazy, bro.
True. Very true.
That's every day.
So I brought this up last week. What exactly is the Russia-China theory of them being advanced? Is it from UFOs or they're just... I thought it was that.
No.
They're
so here's what everybody's saying, and this is what the majority of the quote-unquote insiders and the people who, are close to it are saying. From my point of view, from what I've seen, watching all these videos and listening to all these podcasts, is that not China and Russia are doing the same thing and saying the same thing that we're saying right now. It's not us, and we don't know what the fuck it is. And we have the same shit that you have. We have videos showing similar shit. We have crash retrieval stories talking about similar shit. There's Area 51 stories in Russia. There's a famous Russian Area 51 where they've had crash things too. But they are in the same spot we are, where we don't know how to fucking do shit with them, or we're lying that we don't know how to do shit with them, or they're fucking aliens, bro. And they just don't know. That's what everybody's saying, that like we don't know what the fuck they are, or it's aliens. And that's what Russia is saying. That's what China is saying. The same fucking things. Russia's files, you know how like what's going on in the United States right now, how all these videos are coming out right now? That happened in Russia when Russia collapsed. All their top secret files on UFOs got released. And they had the same type of shit. They didn't have videos like we have now, because there wasn't videos back then, but they have the same type of stories. Tunguska, right? The Tunguska thing, where that whole forest just got destroyed in a fucking instant, right? Like, I don't think that was, I mean, even if that was a fucking meteor, that's fucking crazy luck, but they say that could be fucking UFOs. So all these stories came out when Russia collapsed. The same things we're hearing now about, they don't know what it is. So I think that we are being visited by something, or it's something that's already here that is been hiding. I don't know, because you can hide, man. That if they're in the oceans, they're fucking hiding.
So I guess we'll find out June 25th, right?
Hopefully by June 25th. It should be out. It should be out any day. It's been the 180 days. So
I thought you said we were gonna do a show on the 25th though about it.
So what we need to do is,
for some reason, why am I saying the 25th? I feel like you told me that was a day where like info is coming out or something.
So the 25th is the day that everybody's saying it should be out by that date. We're at the 180 day mark. You know what I mean? I think they got till the 25th to where they have to do something. So.
All right. Well, that's our weekly UFO report with Bryan Mcclay. Thank you very much.
Word.
Do you have any? You want to talk about our Teespring and all that bullshit?
Yeah. Check out our Teespring account. Go get some dope shirts, some summer wear. It's gonna be fucking hot as fuck. So go score some dope Bogcast t-shirts, and check out our Patreon if you guys want to support us. Patreon's the place to do it. Little as $5 a month, I think, and you got some new levels and stuff, I think, going on over there. So make sure you guys go check that out. Get some content over there too.
Fuck yeah! That is a wrap on episode 134 of the Bogcast. Make sure to tune in next week when Bryan gets his third strike and he's fired. That's a wrap.